Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows from shows ranging from the 90s to today.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany,
And I'm Cynthia.
and today we're talking about season 5, episode 3, titled Capeside Revisited. Air date October 24th, 2001, and the synopsis is
Dawson goes back to Capeside to tell his parents he's dropping out of USC and moving to Boston. Mitch tells him he belongs in California, but Dawson's decision is made. Meanwhile, Jack is accepted to a frat house and has doubts if he should go because they want him to fill a quota. Joey finds Pacey working at the restaurant and goes to pay him a visit. Also, Jen and Charlie try to go through 12 hours without having sex so they can learn more about each other.
so
So we
do you
start off,
like, yeah, do you like that Jen, Audrey, and Joey are all going out to dinner?
yeah, it was random because we
Except
never,
for except for Audrey invited herself, according to Joey.
oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, because she was like, "Oh, this is so nice," and Joey goes, "Yeah, you invited yourself."
Hmm, okay. Because I thought it was random because we haven't seen Jen and Audrey in the same room since I think the first episode of this season. So definitely assumed,
When Jen said,
yeah,
"Oh, she's so cool and fun."
yeah. Didn't
You know,
really think of them as friends.
the problem is they're all still not together. You know what I mean?
Mm, what do you mean?
Like we're
The,
finally getting the girls somewhat together.
mm-hmm.
But I'm saying the group.
Oh, yeah,
Because like
the
Jack's
main
on his
ones.
own storyline, Dawson's on his own story. Like everyone's off doing their own thing again. And it's been like that since the beginning of season 5.
Yeah. And then
Well, I thought it was funny though when Joey was like, when I come back, what was it? When I come back, the episode
this
of Sex in the City better be over or something.
yeah, this week's episode. And
Yeah.
Jen's like, okay, Charlotte.
Yeah. And then of course, who does she see? But Pacey in the
Mm-hmm.
kitchen. Now I'm
Yeah.
surprised she saw him that fast.
Yeah. And I'm surprised that she stayed there that long, kind of frozen in place, like he didn't look up and see her, you know?
Well, he's busy.
Yeah. I don't know, it just seemed like she stayed there for a while, that eventually he would have looked up.
Well, she's shocked to see him
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in her town.
Yeah, it would be too.
Now, I thought it was funny when Jen and Joey where they finally went to go sit down together to talk. And Joey says, "How long do you think he's been here?" And then Jen says, 3.5 weeks. And then Joey says, "You think it's been that long?" "No, I think it's been that long."
Yeah, it
I'm
was funny
like,
she didn't
"Yeah,
catch
Jen,
that.
tell the truth."
Yeah, because that was a very specific time frame and Joey didn't catch that.
Yeah, it wasn't like 3 or 4 weeks. It was three and a
Mm-hmm.
half.
Or maybe just a few days, you know?
Or I don't know.
Yeah.
But then Joey does say, "You knew?" And she's like, "Yeah, he told me not to tell you."
Mm-hmm.
But then Jen's like, "Well, don't you want to see him?" And she's like, "Of course I want to see him, but he doesn't want to see me." And I'm like, "Exactly."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I do get that because he told Jen not to say anything.
Mm-hmm. And then Dawson's staying at Graham's house at the moment. Well, everybody is, almost everybody but Joey, really,
hmm
at this point.
Oh, but about Pacey, don't you think it's better now that he has a job that Joey saw him?
Yeah.
Think if he was still jobless,
Hmm.
because then Joey really would have said, "What are you doing with your life?"
Maybe, yeah.
But at least now that he has a job, you know,
Hmm.
he's good. Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
because you know Joey, she likes to fix people
Hmm.
or try to help them. And so I feel like she would have, you know, said like, "Oh, you need to get a job," or, where do I feel like she would have been a little bit too involved in him getting a job.
Hmm.
You know what I
And I would,
mean?
yeah. And I was
But
just
now he's
wondering if,
good.
yeah. And I was just wondering if Pacey was going to tell Joey about Melanie that he's seen, but he doesn't. Like, she doesn't seem to pop back up.
I was gonna say, where is she in the episode?
Yeah, because I thought they were maybe not really that serious, but they seem to be going steady for a while by now. And yeah, she's never brought up or seen in this episode, right?
Well,
I didn't
yeah, he
miss
said
her.
he's a one woman man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I figured he was talking about her. And then yeah, so Dawson's staying at Graham's for the time being, and he talks to Grams about how he's nervous about going back home and telling his parents that he's dropping out and going to Boston, and Graham says the truth will set him free. And I don't know about that really, but and then he's like, maybe I should write them a letter. I was like, I don't think you should, but and then we're just
You know what I
funny.
noticed?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'll just say Graham said that if Moses could face Pharaoh, Dawson could face his parents, and I don't know if that was the right comparison, but
It was funny though.
yeah, what do you
But I was
say?
gonna say though about Graham's house.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like her house is bigger than the one in Capeside.
Yeah, it looks kind of the same, like a older kind of typey high house.
Yeah, but it looks bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yeah,
like, man, Graham's really upgraded.
right.
Hmm. That's what
Yeah,
I noticed.
she must have got a lot for her old house, I guess. And then yeah, and then we go to Jack in the frat house. He's playing video games with them.
Yeah,
And
during the party, he's playing
yeah,
video games.
yeah, that was kind of random.
He's not getting to know anyone. He's literally just playing video games.
Yeah, but afterward he talks to a couple people. Um, and then did you catch how one of the guys said that he was gonna talk to Jack about his next subject and his next pop quiz for a class? Like he
No,
already knew what it was gonna be about,
no.
like helping him cheat. It's not really quick. Yeah, and then we have you caught this guy that keeps talking to Jack at this frat house that seems to be like the leader or whatever? Because I still haven't got his name.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know he's like the ringleader.
Yeah, I feel like he should have had a name by now because it's like what the third episode we've seen him in now, maybe or
Yeah, because
second.
didn't he meet Jack in the first episode?
Yeah,
Yeah, so this is the second episode because Jack was only in the one scene.
right. Yeah, so it seems like by now at least at this point he should have a name. Um.
I just want to see Jack in school. Like I'm seeing him at a frat house. I'm seeing him on the
Mhm.
street. Like I want to see Jen and Jack in class.
Yeah, we still don't know whether majors are or anything.
Like I never see them walk around campus
Hmm.
or anything. Like I see them partying and not actually. We see Joey and and Audrey in their dorm room.
Hmm.
And we see Joey in class, but it's like, how come we don't see Jen and Jack?
Yeah,
It's weird. And again, how far away is their school compared to Joey's?
I don't know. Can't be that far if they meet up at Graham's for dinner.
Oh, and if Audrey goes to Worthington
Hmm.
and Joey had a hard time getting in, that means Audrey must be smart.
Yeah, and she's
Either
like
that
keeping it
or either that or
hush.
her parents
Yeah.
paid her way through.
Hmm. Yeah, so Jack's Jack isn't trying to give the impression that he's trying to rush the frat house, but he's been there or hung out with them for at least a couple times now, so makes sense that they would assume that
But
he
I feel
wants to
like
pledge.
but I feel like Jack gets the impression that like I don't know, it just seems like Jack likes the guy in charge. Like, remember, like when he was like, "Oh, he's," I don't know, did he even say he's cute? Oh, maybe it's in my head.
Yeah, I
But
don't
like,
remember that.
I don't know, like I just feel like he might have a crush on
Oh, I
him.
think Jen said that he was cute.
Yeah. So it's like,
Hmm.
I don't know, like I just feel like Jack might be getting the wrong impression. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's not like a friend, it's he wants maybe more than that.
maybe. I don't know. I just saw him more as a friend or even like a brother, like the guy keeps saying. But yeah, we still have a whole season of this, so we'll see what happens, I guess. And then we go to that same waitress, Karen, and Pacey's complain about how the cook's not letting him cook, even though before it didn't seem like Pacey was all interested in being in the restaurant, and now he wants to, get in there and cook already.
No, he wants to cook. He doesn't want to be the dishwasher.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like before, he didn't really want to cook either, so now he's all about it.
Well, what I thought was funny was when that Karen came in and she was talking about, oh, what was it the blonde or something
Hmm.
doesn't like whatever, and Pacey's like, who cares?
Yeah.
I was like, I know exactly. If the girl don't like something, the girl like
Hmm.
I wouldn't want. I'm picky too, so she wouldn't like me either. Okay, but then she was giving Pacey her time about not wearing the hat.
Right. Yeah.
Are we ever gonna see him wear the hat?
Probably not. Yeah, and the waitress says she's too busy to talk to Pacey, and she's too busy. Well, she says she's too busy to talk to the prep cook, and he's like, "What prep cook? Do you see a prep cook here? Not me, you know."
You know, every scene of Pacey's I love.
Mm-hmm. And then Jen sees Charlie at his room again, tries to ask more questions about him, but he doesn't give her much until she pushes a little more about where
Oh,
he went to school.
I thought it was funny when he said I like Chicago pizza. And she goes, "Oh, so you're from Chicago?" And he goes, "Nope."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Jen is just trying everything.
Yeah.
But
So then,
maybe she shouldn't keep sleeping with them and you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
But she
Yeah.
just keeps giving in to him, so that's why you know nothing about him.
Yeah. She doesn't have much self-control.
Nope. Which is
And
weird
that,
because she's had so much control, self-control throughout high school.
yeah.
Now all of a sudden she has no self-control. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's had boyfriends before.
Yeah.
So it's a little weird that all she wants is sex when that's not what she's wanted for years.
Right. And then, yeah, Dawson gets home. I guess he didn't really give them a heads up because Gail and Mitch are both surprised that he's back.
Okay. Well, it's funny because like Dawson's like, oh, new couch. I like this one. And
Mm-hmm.
because Gail was remodel or redoing the
Mm-hmm.
house or whatever since Dawson left. And Mitch
Yeah.
says, I miss my old one.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. Especially
Mm-hmm.
how he said it too, like, I miss my old one.
Yeah. And then, Mitch and Gail are asking Dawson about school and everything. And
Okay,
Mitch says if he got that deal with DreamWorks.
yeah, but I have a problem with Dawson.
Yeah.
Like, it's taking him a long time to spit it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, because Gail's like, oh, did you get the cookies that I sent? And I was like, well, I mean, I haven't gotten my mail in a while. And then Mitch, that's when Mitch is like, oh, so school's been keeping you busy, and he's like, well, and it's like Dawson, just spit it out for God's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
like it's taking you a little bit, but he finally
Mm-hmm.
said it. Then of course Mitch wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Now, do you think? Okay, now who was in the wrong?
I would say Dawson.
Why?
J well, it's just he worked so hard to get into this school, and I feel like he's taking the one job that he lost like really too hard on himself, like because he hasn't even tried to get another job after that, unless he's been blackballed, but yeah, that hasn't been mentioned either. So I don't know, I just feel like he hasn't really gave LA that much of a chance he should have. But then Mitch also kind of was a little too hard on him too, being stern like that.
Yeah, but I feel like Dawson needs that.
Yeah.
But like my thing is, I don't, Mitch for me is not in the wrong
Mm-hmm.
because like we're old now. And if you have a
Mm-hmm.
kid and they have a dream,
Mm-hmm.
you don't ever want them to quit that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his dream.
Yeah.
It's been ever since he was little. So it's like, you can't just give up on it,
Mm-hmm.
especially after one rejection.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get where Mitch is coming from of like, you can't just bail now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this reminded me a lot of Gilmore Girls, the same with Rory when she wanted to drop out of Yale.
hmm Well, and then later on, Gail talks to Dawson and she was like, did Joey put you up to this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's understandable that she is questioning that because he says that he's staying for girl, which the girl doesn't even really say she wants to be with him. Like, it's so irritating.
Yeah.
Like, I can't stand this. You're going to stay because of Joey, the wish-washy girl?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the one that can't make up her god dang mind?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but stay for some other girl. Like, I don't like that he's staying for a girl.
Yeah, me
I
either.
don't care if he's known her his whole life. Like, at some point in your life, you have to put yourself first. And if this is what you want, So why give up on it? Like it just bothers me that Dawson is doing it for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you said where it's like, oh, if you've had 10 rejections, probably shouldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
Where I could see where it's like, I will never get that yes. But he's only had the one and he just started school.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's so new to the school. He's so new to, he even got, I mean, it's even surprising that he even got a job for his freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like, I just feel like he's taking it a little too far.
Yeah.
Like, how many people get the opportunity to work on set their first like month of being there?
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Only in Dawson land.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is he hasn't worked his way up. So I don't even know how he got the job. And you can't just go just because of that jerk of a director. The guy's an ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a good thing you left,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that you should just quit all because you miss your friends and you miss Joey. Like, I agree with Gail. You'll meet other friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Miguel
And
also told.
but I just feel like he hasn't taken the time to think,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't help that his mom is kind of like, trying to see his point, but in like by saying like, is Joey the person that he wants to take a very big leap of faith for? Because obviously she's not, but she's kind of leading Dawson to believe that he might be able to.
Oh, you thought so?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just thought it as like, because we know Joey's wishy-washy. I think Gail knows that too. So it's like, are you sure this is the girl? Like that,
Mm-hmm.
but like, I get where she's coming from. It's like, if this is who you want to throw everything away for, it's like, that's what
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting is like, because you are throwing it all away.
Yeah.
And okay, so you drop out. Do you really think they're going to want you back?
Right.
But I will say about Mitch and Dawson. Now, didn't Dawson pay for his own college
Yeah, with the money
from
that
Mr.
Brooks.
Brooks?
Yeah.
So that is one advantage that Dawson has that other
Mm-hmm.
college kids don't.
Yeah.
Is like, because normally parents will be like, well, you're not dropping out because I paid for your school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like waiting for Mitch to say that, but I went, oh yeah, Dawson paid for his own.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, Dawson could have thrown that in his face of like, you're not out any money if I quit
Mm-hmm.
because I'm paying for myself.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that Dawson didn't say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Do
because
you
that's
think
what
the writers forgot that part?
I don't know, because that's what Pacey's dad said about Gretchen dropping out,
Mhm.
about her
Him
wasting his
paying.
money. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying is I feel like that would have been a good argument for Dawson of like, I paid for myself.
Mm-hmm.
You're not out any money. And because Dawson says, well, this is on me. Well, he should have went a step further and said, I'm out the money, not you.
Mm-hmm.
And like I know it's not about the money, but I feel like a normal parent that is dealing with their child dropping out,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would have been the conversation.
Yeah.
Like that would have been Gretchen and her dad. Like full on, you could hear that.
Yeah.
Because you could hear it with any parent of like, you know how much money I spent and you're going to drop out? But Mitch is just looking out for him. And that's a totally different thing than like money troubles.
Mm-hmm. And then Audrey talks to Joey, or wants to talk to her about Pacey after seeing him at the restaurant. But I don't like how they just like went from Dawson to Pacey, even though technically at this moment Dawson's debating on moving to Boston to be with Joey, and yet now they're talking about Pacey as if she might get back together with him.
They ain't talking about her getting back together with him.
Well, they're just talking about him as if it's like a big deal.
Well, he was a big deal. Come on now, and he is.
I know, but it's like she's supposed to be about Dawson. Pacey still being brought up, so it doesn't really make sense timing wise.
He's barely brought up.
Well, he is now in this episode, yeah.
Well, they had the great love, not Dawson and Joey.
I know, it just seems like she's still juggling both of them. But Audrey did have a point that if, Joey wants to have another relationship, she has to stop worrying about the mess.
Yeah. About Dawson, I thought Dawson told Audrey he liked Ellie.
He thought it, yeah, no, he just thought it was okay.
Because
But
now he's telling his parents that he doesn't like Ellie
right,
and he
yeah.
wants to go to Boston. And I'm like, but last episode you said you liked it.
Yeah, I think he just said that.
The only thing that was missing was your friends.
hmm I
So
think
it's
he
throwing
might,
me off.
yeah, like I said, I think he might have just said that just so he didn't have to go into detail with Audrey about it.
Mm.
And then Jack
Oh,
wakes up at the frat house.
oh, I didn't care for that. Okay, I'm not
Well,
gonna lie. I really don't care for Jack in the frat house.
I just thought it was interesting just because of the whole part of this being 2001, so 13 years ago now. And back then it was probably still really a big deal
How long
for,
ago?
I'm in 23, not, yeah, I'm tired.
It's like 13.
Yeah, 2001. At least I said that, but it was a big deal. Back then, maybe not on this show, but back then in real life, it was a big deal to like kind of stay in the closet while you're in one of those frat houses or sorority houses, and just try to get by without anyone knowing that you're gay or not. But apparently, all these guys just could already tell by looking at Jack that he's gay and to be completely okay with it. Like,
I
I
know. I
kind
was
of find
like,
that hard to believe.
I know when they were like, we know, and we're cool with it. We're your brothers. And I'm like, huh?
hmm
That threw me
Yeah.
off too. I was like,
Yeah. So when they mentioned the quota,
eh?
I was like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense,
Yeah, that
you
they're
know?
using them.
hmm Yeah. So I was project that he was straight up, honest with them about being gay and, making sure that they wanted him in their house for him. So I could see why he was hesitating. But yeah, so I just thought it would be, um, like I said, just a little too easy. Like there's like what, like 20 guys in a house, maybe? I don't know.
I
It
think
seems
more
like,
than that.
yeah, the odds are that at least one of them wouldn't be okay with Jack. So,
I
you
mean,
know,
even nowadays, at least one probably isn't
yeah.
okay with it. You know what I mean?
hmm Yeah.
And then you go 23 years ago. Yeah, there's
hmm
probably more than one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And then, yeah.
well, then Jack goes and talks to Grams and he
hmm
brings up Toby. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm surprised that Jack and Toby are still together
Yeah, me too.
because he's in college. I would have thought that it broke up because Toby's living his life and Jack's living his. And
hmm
they're never going to see each other.
Yeah. Unless Toby's school was close, but we don't even know where Toby is. Like, is he even in college? We don't even know that. So
Do we even know how old he is?
yeah, he's supposed to be the same age as him, isn't he?
Hmm. I don't know. I don't think they really told us how old he was last season.
Well, he went to prom with him, so he has to be at least
Yeah,
around
but
the
so
same
did
age.
Gretchen,
I know. I feel like that
and
was
she
just
was
a fluke.
22, so
hmm
he could be in his 20s.
He might be a year older, actually, because I remember Toby talking about his prom with Jen and Jack, so maybe he's like a year or two older, but it didn't seem like that much older. Yeah. And then yeah, so Jen is asking more questions about Charlie, trying to get to know him and
Oh yeah, is but yeah, but then she makes the pack of they're not gonna have sex for 12 hours.
hmm I was surprised they just didn't say a day. Yeah, they cut it down to 12 hours. I'm like, okay.
That's because they can't make it 24.
Like a
You know,
bunch of
they
little,
could if they, you know, they could if they would have just not seen each other for the day.
yeah. Like she doesn't have to stay in his room the whole time.
That was my thing was why is she in his room? Why didn't you
Trying
make
to
the
get to
pack and
know
walk
him.
away? That was
Yeah,
weird.
trying to get to know him, I guess. But
Well, look how well that was working.
hmm
He's literally doing everything to get her to have sex.
hmm
Oh, but then she said, "What's your favorite color?" And he said, "The color of your eye."
Yeah, so she,
And
puts her hand over his.
I knew she was going
hmm
to ask him, "Well, what are they? What's the color of my eyes?" I knew that was
hmm
coming.
Yeah.
And then he said, "What did he say? I've been sleeping with you. You really think I wouldn't know?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah,
hmm
I would think you wouldn't know either."
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but when he says brown, That's such like a
Well,
number one answer. Like
no, I would think blue.
blue. You think blue is dominant?
I don't know. It just seems like it is.
I don't know. Blue?
Well, they always talk
I'm
about blue
still
eyes in songs.
yeah, because they're pretty, but I don't feel like blue is dominant at all. I feel like most people have like brown eyes.
I don't know.
What color are mine?
Hmm.
But it was funny because she was like, well, with a tint of blue. And I went,
Mm-hmm.
"Hmm."
And then he jokes about them getting needing to get out of bed. So Jen takes it seriously, and she does, and you can tell that he was disappointed in that.
Well, that's because didn't you hear they're going back and forth? He says
Mm-hmm.
Coke, she says Pepsi. They're going, who's your favorite president? I mean, what?
Yeah, they're just trying to find something in common and failing about every
Um,
little thing.
now here's my thing. When
Mm,
they're in the room together,
yeah,
he has his own dorm room.
I guess.
That's what I
And
got. I was like, that's it. It's just his room.
yeah, because I believe you can. It just costs more money to have a room to yourself.
So Charlie has rich parents.
Probably, yeah.
All these rich kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Karen's still giving Pacey an attitude at work, and he wants to know what's going on, and then she yells at him and says his only qualifications for this job is his gender, and this still leaves Pacey confused about why she doesn't seem to like him.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I would too because she was outside talking to him
Mm-hmm.
like the day before. And then
Yeah, it was
now,
fine.
now
Mm-hmm.
she hates him.
Yeah. And then Mitch goes to talk to Dawson in his room,
Yeah, and
try to
that's
get
when he
some sense
brings
into
up,
him.
yeah, that's when he brings up it's over girl and Dawson. Well, then Dawson, he did make me laugh because he's like sitting on the floor like a little potty baby going, well, why is that so, what do you want to say? Oh, bad or something. And I'm like, cause wait, you're in college now. It's time to think of
Mm-hmm.
yourself, not over a girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially one that you're not even with.
Yeah. And Mitch made a
That's the
point
other
to
thing.
Mitch made a point to tell Dawson that he needs to choose his own path and not follow Joey down hers.
Yep. Because then you're going to think about it. If he follows Joey, one day he will wake up and regret it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to resent her.
Yep.
And there's going to be nothing she can do because she didn't stop it. And I mean, not like he was going to listen to her if she did.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, like, you're not in a committed relationship. So why are you
Taking
doing
it so
this?
seriously. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as if you're going to be, you're not together. This is what I do not understand at all.
Right.
It's throwing me off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so to give him that push in the right direction, Mitch gives him a plane ticket the next day to go back to LA.
Mitch is doing everything, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so when Gail's talking to Dawson,
Mm-hmm.
the best thing she was saying though was that she really didn't believe in soulmates,
Oh, right.
which is funny because that's all we hear is Dawson and Joey are soulmates. Well, guess what? Gail don't believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy about that one. Well, I just don't believe those two are soulmates, but I just thought it was funny because she was like, I believe in faith
Mm-hmm.
or fate, whatever.
Yeah, that was it was sweet, at least toward the end, how Mitch was saying that he loves his life and that he wasn't, made to like create something that would change the world, but maybe Dawson will. Like he has so much faith that Dawson can do great things. He just has to, let himself do it and not lose focus on what's important.
Well, and two, he was like, um, you know, I was never going to be a movie maker or anything.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, but Dawson has the talent.
Hmm.
Eh, I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Well, Mitch seems to be his biggest fan. So
it's his parent.
I know, but a parent can still be like that. And then Jen and Charlie
I
are
well, Gail was funny when she told Mitch that is it bad that I just want him to quit and come
yeah.
home?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but he is quitting and it's not home, it's to Boston.
Yeah.
Which again, how far are Boston and Capeside?
I don't know.
Because remember, Doug went to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably spent all day driving there and back.
Yeah, unless I don't think no, he wouldn't take a plane, I'm guessing.
No, Doug, no.
No.
I feel like he's a cheapskate.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't do that.
And then
So
yeah,
what do you think of Charlie and Jen?
and arguing about subtitles.
Anything in this episode?
Yeah, I just feel like they're just going around and around, so not finding something they can have in common, but Jen did learn something about him and not liking subtitles for movies. And then yeah, Jack talks to Grams about the situation. And I thought it was sweet how Graham says that if the guys know Jack a fraction of how well she knows him, they want him more than just for a quota.
But do you believe that?
I feel like maybe some of them, but some of them not. I feel like it's like half and half.
Because they're awfully happy that he's gay.
Yeah.
And I feel, and like you said, especially in 2001, that wasn't the
Mm-hmm.
thing. So
Yeah.
it's just a little suspicious to me that
Right.
they're all just so welcoming, happy. And they said, well, we know. And it's kind of like, well, we need your kind. I, don't- I just feel like, yeah, they are using him and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think that's why I get the years mixed up. Because I know of a girl who was in the same situation, but of course a sorority, where she was gay and she kept it a secret for the whole time because she was afraid of them finding out and her getting kicked out and everything like that. But yeah, so like that's why I said even a decade before that, it had to be even more worse. So
Yeah. And then especially a house full of guys.
yeah, who are more judgmental.
That's what I'm saying is I feel like girls are a little bit more accepting. I mean, yes, you
Hmm.
can get the, witchy ones, but
Yeah.
I feel like they would be more sympathetic than a man. I'm
Hmm.
just putting that out there.
Yeah. And then
Oh, but then how did you like though when the ringleader, I'm gonna call him,
hmm.
when he was like when Jack brings up his boyfriend Toby and the guy was like, yeah, he's welcome too. And I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, I was even more shocked about that.
I know. Because
Like,
Jack's like, well, I have a boyfriend and he'll
hmm.
be coming over and probably spending the night. And then the guy
Hmm.
was like, yeah, we're cool with that. And I was like, what?
Yeah, he even said if Jack wasn't even living in the house, he still could crash. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I feel like he wouldn't even be allowed to do that, but okay.
And I'm sorry, but like on a lot of the sorority and frat house stuff, we always see
Hmm.
them picking on the new person.
Yeah,
When are they
hazing.
gonna pick on,
Hmm.
yeah, when are they gonna pick on Jack? Because
Right.
this just seems too good to be true that Jack can just find a frat house, one frat house, and be welcomed.
Yep.
This is just it's either bad writing or there's something about to happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's just too good to be true.
Hmm.
Though I don't want anything to happen to Jack, though.
Yeah, me too. And then the 12 hours hasn't been up, I don't think, but either way, Charlie and Jen find out that they don't have any more condoms, so probably takes her to go get more because she, like pleads with him to go get one.
Yeah, she really wants to have sex, doesn't she?
Yeah, and then they
Oh,
end up,
but how did you like when she said we don't have anything in common, and he said, well, we have one thing.
oh,
Oh my
mm-hmm,
God.
yeah,
I was like, that's the only thing you have.
mm-hmm,
And then how did you like when he said, we're taking this relationship outside? I went, what relationship?
yeah,
All you do is have sex. That's it.
mm-hmm.
But I was like, what relationship? You don't know anything about each other.
Yeah, well, she brought up first that the relationship has to get out of the room someday because they were staying in there the whole time.
Yeah, but I didn't really know this was like a serious relationship.
Mm-hmm.
She should probably really get to know him. And it's just weird too that he really doesn't care. He knows nothing about her.
Right. And then
Don't
they
you
end
think
up,
it's weird?
no, not for a guy like that. And then, yeah, so Jen and Charlie break into the health center to get one. And that's when she learns that he's nearsighted because he couldn't read the sign that was above the jar of condoms.
Um, I think about this. Well,
Hmm.
the beginning of this. Does Jen fall for every guy that breaks in places?
We're talking about Billy.
There's Billy, there's what's his face? Drew,
Hmm.
and now Charlie?
Well, she didn't really like Drew, but yeah, hangs
Oh,
out
but
with
she
him. Yeah.
did. I think a part of her did like him. And also, where is Drew? I wish we could have like a run-in with Drew. Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah. He must have gone to college somewhere else.
Well, he said he
Maybe
was going to be in
California.
Boston.
Oh,
Remember? Because she said,
oh.
oh, then that's one reason not to go. And in my head, I knew she was going to Boston. So that's what I thought was funny. But I was like, he's
Hmm.
going to Boston, the same place they all are. So that's why I thought maybe he would join them.
Yeah, you think.
I thought well, wouldn't that be funny, a run-in of like Drew and Charlie?
Yeah.
Because Drew did like her. And I
Hmm.
thought that'd be funny.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. So then what happens in this scene
What? Oh, about
with
him being
Charlie and
nearsighted?
Jen?
Yeah. Because the sign, he thinks the sign says something else, but it actually says the class of 90, in anticipation of a world without AIDS. So, and he thought it was like something completely different than that. So, yeah, so now Jen thinks it's adorable that he has to wear glasses to see. And that's why
Because
he doesn't like
he's,
subtitles.
yeah, because he looks like a what?
A dork.
Yeah. And then she goes, well, you are a dork. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
And then they have sex right there and there on
They
the floor.
fall to the ground.
Hmm.
I was like, is 12 hours up?
And they couldn't even go back to his room because I feel like they could get caught at any second if someone walks in, open the place up.
Well, why are they doing it right there?
Yeah, as I've said, someone can just walk in.
They don't think. They got one thing on their mind.
Hmm.
So Joey goes to visit Pacey
Hmm.
at the boat.
Yep. But she doesn't like say hi. She says, I can't see the stars in the city.
And he smiles. I can't.
Yeah, and Joey says how she saw him at the restaurant. So, and then Jen
No.
fess up.
Yeah. I can't with this because they should be together. Well, and then they joke about dating.
Hmm.
Out of anyone, they had the biggest relationship, the most important. So it just irritates me that it's a mockery now.
Yeah, they bring it up so casually.
hmm It's not like, we were in love at all.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, we're cool, just brush it off. No.
Hmm.
And it's only been a few months.
Yeah.
June to October. It's not that
Hmm.
long.
Yeah, and Joey jokes about how she's barely even remember the relationship after sleeping with half of the football team.
Yeah, and he says only half. Oh my God.
Hmm. Yeah, and she
I
had to leave the
can't.
other half to her roommate.
Yeah, I
And that's,
can't though with the we used to date, right? Like,
yeah, and Pacey
nope.
drags it on with how living with Joey in a small space 24/7 isn't healthy. And then Joey says at least she doesn't snore.
Yeah, except for he would love to live with her 24/7.
Hmm. And then Joey said she read an article about the regrowing of brain cells, which I don't think is true. But
That you forget
she's,
everything.
yeah, like everything bad. I'm like, that's not possible. Even if you grew new, brain cells, like the memory still is there. But yeah. And then like, Pacey
Well, and
starts
then he said
asking,
it. Yeah, well, he said it, because she said, like eventually. It meant like eventually they'll be on good terms. And he's like,
mhm,
basically, I'm already there. So,
yeah,
well, because remember when they ended it, he was like, I don't want to see you for a while because I'm still in love with you. It's like, ah. And then we go to
hmm,
this. Like, you're still in love with each other. I can't take it.
yeah. Yeah, so they just get into a comfortable conversation about, catching up on things and it fades out like that.
hmm
And now we see Dawson getting ready to leave. Gail's like, "Do you have everything?" And he's like, "Yes, I have everything you packed for me." That was funny.
And I was like, oh, his mommy's packing his bag.
Yeah, and gives him more cookies.
He's gonna get fat off those cookies. Okay. But then Mitch, of course, was saying bye to him and says that he's disappointed,
Hmm.
but he loves him.
Yeah,
And
yeah, always be there for him.
Dawson, he's gonna hold on to the I'm disappointed in you.
Hmm. And then,
But then Mitch watches him leave,
yeah, I
like
thought when he
out in the
left,
yard. I was like,
yeah, I thought he like left like off in his own car to somewhere. I didn't know that he just went outside.
yeah, it
Because
was
he's,
weird. I'm like, it's
yeah,
definitely like TV movie-ish where it's like, I'm gonna just
hmm,
watch you leave. Like, I
yeah.
was like, no. Like
And then
Mitch would have
Dawson didn't
just
even
stayed
know.
inside or something.
Yeah, he should have been like in his bedroom looking out the window or something. And then,
Now, is Dawson really going to LA?
I don't know, maybe.
No, because then he ends up in Boston with Joey.
Oh,
Remember? The
oh,
very
right, okay.
end.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
I was just looking through my notes. Because Jack goes back to the frat house and tells the guy that we still don't know the name of, that he doesn't want to be there just to fill a quota, and he says that everybody's there filling a quota. I'm like, I don't think about sure, no, not so sure about that, but okay. And even if it's so, it's not thing like Jack. So
No.
yeah, and then yep, so they accept him, they accept Toby, everything. So yeah, Jack accepts their offer, which I figured, and everyone congratulates him. They
Again, I don't want
list him
Jack
off.
in a frat house.
Yeah, neither do I.
Like
Like I said, I think
he's not gonna be around the gang.
yeah, and I think he just missed what he used to have on his football team with having men in his life because he doesn't really have his well we don't they didn't even see what happened to his dad, but he doesn't have his dad anymore. Andy's gone, he doesn't have Tim anymore, so he doesn't like have any brothers around, or Dawson's away, they were close for a minute, but now he's gone too. So I get why Jack could be wanting to have some kind of support system somewhere with other men.
It's just off to me.
Yeah. And then Pacey just finishes peeling like a whole big bowl of potatoes, and then Danny just
Yeah,
throws them
and
away.
Danny just throws them.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be mad too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What did you think of the scene when he grabs Pacey's arm?
Yeah, and he's still holding the knife. I'm like, careful with that. Yeah, so he
Oh
just
my
has
God,
him.
I'm sorry, but the acting on both, it was
Yeah.
just so
Hmm.
funny.
Yeah, and he makes him cut the white truffle, and how one of them, or not one of them, but they go for 1200 a pound. I knew they were like a lot, but not that much. My goodness. Yeah, so then he tells Pacey that he's gonna, make that dish like as his first
Pacey
test.
was there for what? How many days? And now he's gonna just cook?
Yeah, a few weeks, maybe a couple weeks. Yeah.
A few weeks.
Well, because oh no, that's when he's been in Boston. I don't know,
Because
maybe a week
he
most.
just got the job last episode, and Dawson
Hmm.
was leaving the next morning to go to Capeside. So it's only
Hmm.
been a couple days, and all of a
Right.
sudden
Yeah.
Pacey is gonna cook the next meal? What?
Hmm. Yeah, they're kind of having similar parallels with Joey and Wilder, and now Casey and Danny. Like they see potential in this young kid, and they want to help them out. Even though it can be kind of a little weird and off-putting and
I
so
know,
sudden.
but that's very soon. The net only a
Hmm.
couple days.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he's gonna make the ravioli truffle.
yeah, because he said it can't be taught; it has to be learned.
Yeah, learned. Yeah,
I was like, okay,
and that's why Karen didn't get the job.
well, yeah. And then Pacey goes, "That oh, so she wanted
Hmm.
my job." I'm
Yeah,
like,
so that makes sense finally for him.
yep. Yeah, once I heard that, I was like, oh, it makes total sense why she hates you.
Hmm. Yep, and then Joey runs into Dawson when she's gonna get her mail, but she walked in. He's right there on the steps, and she didn't see him.
I
I
know
felt like that was unrealistic too.
he's
'Cause,
not
like,
little.
well, it's just when I walk into a building, even if I'm kind of familiar with it like that, like a public place, I still like look around and see my surroundings, when I walk into a place, like the gym. I walk in the gym, I see if there's anybody like right at the door, and I'm gonna have to like, pass. just even that little thing like that. I'm aware of my surroundings when I walk into a place, but she just walks right straight to the mailboxes.
Well, she didn't look at the piece of paper that she was holding for 12 hours.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So she's not exactly bright when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
So her surroundings, no, she's not bright on that.
Yeah.
Because he
Yeah.
was literally, oh, what is up with them just always sitting on steps and stuff?
Yeah, because I remember you were mad that Andy did that too at school in the
Well,
middle.
she was doing it right in the middle and everyone
Yeah.
was walking around her. No one walks around you. They kick you
Mm-hmm.
instead.
Yeah.
But okay, isn't it weird that in that big school, nobody is in the hallway?
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. Yeah, definitely.
I was like, why is it just Dawson laying on a step and
Hmm.
Joey comes in? Like, there should be a few people in the hallway.
Unless it's super late, but still.
I know, but there would be somebody up going somewhere.
Hmm.
I feel like there'd be movement until probably what, midnight?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, so then Dawson tells her, that he's had an awful weekend and he's just like lost. And, can she tell him if he made the right decision or not, coming back to Boston? And she says she can't, but there is no right or wrong, only the consequences of his actions. And she learned that from one of her professors. Like all of a sudden she's using their
Learning.
advice. Yeah, and that too.
Well, and before, remember, she doesn't make sense before.
Hmm.
Now all of a sudden she has these great things to say. It's like, but are you learning from any of this?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised she didn't say that was from Professor Wilder. She got that from and keep that thing going. But yeah, I was kind of surprised she didn't tell Dawson like everything's gonna be okay. We'll figure this out because he left to be with her, and she's not really taking it that seriously. So,
No, she said it doesn't matter like what we do, we can't get you on that bus.
oh yeah, my
And it
next paragraph. Yeah,
sounds and it kind of sounds like she wants him to go to LA.
yeah,
Just by what she said with that, I was like, wait a minute,
hmm,
you want
yeah,
him to go? I don't know.
right.
Again, wish-washy. I can't with her. Like, what do you
Hmm.
want, girl? I can't read your mind either.
Yeah. So we go and get coffee, and he tells her about Capeside and what's changed, and then
Nothing.
yeah, and then the last scene, we fade out with their talking to Mitch walking to his car with groceries. He's driving, he's
I'm not gonna
singing.
lie. I didn't
Hmm.
see the groceries. All I saw was the ice cream cone.
Oh, right, yeah. And then yeah, so he's singing,
Oh yeah,
driving,
he's singing, driving, enjoying himself with it. Then he
getting ice
drops the
cream.
ice cream. Who cares about the ice cream?
Hmm. Yeah, because if you drop something while you're driving like that, you don't go to grab it.
And it fell on the floor. Are you gonna eat it?
I know, like, what's he gonna do with it? Like, he doesn't even a napkin, like one napkin wouldn't even help either. So like, I get if he didn't want it to stain or something, but like, he couldn't do anything in the moment, so he had to just like let it sit there. But he doesn't. And you think with his age and driving all that time, he
You
would know
said
better.
with his
But
age.
well, he's older. He's been driving for like what, at least a good 25, 30 years maybe. So you think he
Cynthia.
would.
Cynthia.
It's just
No,
common
no.
sense when
No,
driving.
no. You know the actors of the show are now that age.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't think about that. I just think about the 2001 ages.
You
Yeah, so when he comes back up from trying to clean up the ice cream that wasn't going to
Yeah,
happen
then
anyhow,
something happens. But oh my God.
yeah, he comes up to an incoming car and the scene goes black.
Now, how would you
So,
know he came up to a car?
well, because we hear the horn and then the headlight shining on him from the other car.
Because you don't know what happens until the next episode.
Well, it's just obvious like he collided with someone from that little scene alone.
I know, but all over ice cream.
I know it's really stupid.
I'm sorry, but this over ice cream.
Yeah, I know.
I can't.
I mean,
Like,
this isn't one of the worst character deaths I've seen, but probably top five of the worst. Yeah.
why? What's the number one?
Um, a show you don't know, CW show The Hundred. I don't know. Well, you might have heard of it, but never
The
seen it.
what?
The Hundred.
Nope.
It's about like 100 years from now or some
Oh God.
Earth is no longer inhabitable, so they are living in space, and then they go back to Earth, and it's just a whole situation. But when they go back to Earth, the main character meets this leader uh, um, of a tribe or a group. I can't remember the name that they used, but she was like really tough and really strong. She was a good warrior. She killed a lot of people, and yet her death was from a stray bullet. So it just didn't make sense because that bullet shouldn't have even hit her. So, and then she dies from that. So it's just stupid. But,
Well, the show don't sound realistic to begin with.
well, yeah, no, because it's in a apocalyptic era of the earth, like in next century or so. So,
Okay, why? Who's the second one worst?
um,
This would be the top five.
I can't think of anything now. That's just like my other one I can think of.
I know, like, who's had a bad death? I mean, that's not
Um,
like,
like a lot of CW shows of the superheroes I've watched, the DC
well,
shows have a lot of deaths.
this was a WB show,
Yeah.
which turned into CW.
hmm And technically, this was the second time I saw John, who plays Mitch, in a situation that's really dangerous to, being close to death like this. So, but the other one I think was more violent. So, at least in this one, we didn't see anything. We just heard it.
But all over ice cream cone.
Yeah, I know. Like if he had like a cell phone and it was Dawson calling him, now that would
Yep.
make sense.
Right,
Like
that
he
he's
would,
apologizing
yeah.
or, yep.
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing makes this does not, I'm sorry, ice cream, no.
Yeah.
Doesn't make
And
sense that you're really going to be dumb enough to crash.
yeah, and I don't even know anybody that would get ice cream at that time of night either, and then eat it when driving in the car. What?
Well, what time is it?
I don't know. It seems like late, like at least 11, maybe.
11.
I don't
You
know.
think in Capeside that store's open at 11 o'clock?
You never know. I don't know.
It's a small town. They probably close at a certain time.
Well, the Mitch is it small? I don't know. I'm trying to think of places around here. I think maybe
Yeah,
9 or
but
10 is the latest
I
that have.
went to Dairy Queen right before they close.
Well, I don't go to Dairy Queen, so I don't know.
So I'm just saying that's like around 9 or 10. So I'm just
Oh,
saying that
yeah, that's,
I'm like,
yeah.
but I mean, I'm not driving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so.
And my dad eats the ice cream before we
Mm-hmm.
drive.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my ice cream buddy.
Yeah, so I don't know why Mitch just couldn't wait to eat the ice cream and then take off.
What do you mean? He dropped it. There ain't nothing to eat.
No, I mean beforehand, before he was driving, when he left the store initially.
Yeah, I don't. I just find it weird though. I'm like, that's how he's gonna die?
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's how you wrote it? Over
Mm-hmm.
ice cream?
Yeah.
I can't. This is
Mm-hmm.
the writers. Did they get new writers? I mean, I know I haven't liked any of the writers since the show started, but I'm really just, this is just becoming a joke, season five. I mean, I knew it was, but I mean, the past two episodes have been terrible. Like, it's now just becoming a comedy of how stupid it is. Don't you think? Between Joey being dumb and not knowing what's on a piece of paper and that Dawson sitting there and the whole going back and forth of Dawson, Joey, what's the feelings and Mitch and the ice cream and Dawson giving up on school. Like, Pacey talking back to the boss, which you know darn well he'd be fired for. I mean, and Jen not even going to school. She's just shacking up now with Charlie.
Yep.
Like, what has the show come to? I'm sorry, but this show has never been about this.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the show has definitely changed.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, I don't like it. And Jack's gonna just distance himself and be in a frat house. I don't need any more obnoxious guys on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there seems to be one consistent writer throughout the whole show. Like I went back, he was still on the crew for writing on season 1, and he's still here now in season 5, still writing the show. So
Who is he?
his name is Kevin Williamson.
That's the creator.
Oh, well, yeah, it's usually him and somebody else, only one other person.
Yeah, but he left after season 2.
Why I see him written for credits and writing in season 5.
Well, they probably give him credits, but he wasn't there because he came back at the last in the finale of season 6 because they asked him to.
Okay, well, for this episode, the other writer besides for Kevin was Jeffrey Stepikoff, but it seems to be a different person in each time besides for Kevin's name. So it's like a rotation.
Because he probably had a deal that he was keeping the credit, but no, he left. So
Okay, well, next episode is the writer with Tom Capinos. So like I said, it's just a different person like each episode, it seems like, besides for Kevin's name.
mm. But seriously, what are you thinking of this season 5?
Um, I don't know. Well, it doesn't seem like they have much to work with. I feel like if they actually gave like Jen and Jack majors, they could focus on that and not the other stuff that doesn't have anything to do with their schooling. So,
I know we have not seen them in school.
hmm,
Like, at least walk the halls.
yeah,
I just can't. Like, we're not seeing them fully.
hmm,
And I'm sorry, but other shows have done college well.
yeah,
This has not.
hmm.
Like, look at Beverly Hills 90210. They did college well.
That's the reboot, right?
No, it's not
Oh,
Beverly
was it?
Hills 90210.
I can never remember which is which, but I haven't seen the original all the way through, so I don't know about the college years there.
Well, the college, they actually show them in school
Right? Yeah.
and on campus. Like,
Hmm.
and even though one of them is in a frat house, they're still together as a group. Like they'll go to college parties together. It's not someone's left out, or it's not
Hmm.
everybody has their own scenes and that's it.
Right.
Like they make sure in a priority to write everybody's together.
Hmm.
And this is what this show is not doing.
Hmm.
I mean, what is Dawson going to do? Seriously, in Boston, he claims live on Graham's couch.
Right.
But seriously, what is he going to do?
I don't know.
I can't. I mean, it makes sense that Pacey would go to Boston to be with everybody,
Hmm.
but it doesn't make sense for Dawson. And what was the one thing I liked in the first episode of season 5?
Now we saw Dawson in Hollywood.
Yes, I enjoyed watching him in the movie settings.
Hmm.
That's where I want to see him. I don't want to see him laying on Graham's couch.
Right.
So the writers need to figure this out because
Hmm.
I don't like it. I wonder how many people liked season 5. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a different show that it's not being consistent. I mean, the one good thing about season 5 is they added Chad Michael Murray, someone pretty to look at. Otherwise, season 5 is just ooh, a downhill.
Yeah, it seems like their episodes are rated about an average of 7 stars around there,
Hmm.
maybe closer to the late sixes. But yeah, I feel like we already passed the highest ratest. Where did that go?
For
Any?
season 5.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't feel like a lot of people like season 5.
Oh, yeah, the next one's the highest with 8.3 stars. And then after that, it goes downhill.
Yeah, it goes downhill, all right.
Hmm. So then you're um high and low.
Um, the high was seeing Mitch and Gail because
With
I did not like the episode.
mm,
They felt like home
yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah.
and I missed them. That's
Hmm.
what nothing that was missing them.
Yeah, because I was afraid that, with everybody not living in Cape Side, that we wouldn't see any of the adults anymore, or
Well,
at least so
Graham's,
soon,
she moved to
Yeah, besides
Boston.
her. Yeah, besides for her.
Um, yeah, so I liked seeing them and I liked seeing baby Lily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I like seeing Dawson with Lily.
Yeah. Me too.
I thought that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and my low, everything else. Okay. The Jen and Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Yeah, I know.
That whole thing, their storyline, I just couldn't.
Yeah, so I say I don't think they're gonna last very long just because they have nothing else in common besides for sex.
I
So
was ready for it to be over with.
yeah, like they were cute at the very beginning, but then after that, it was just boring.
hmm And I didn't like the frat house stuff either. So that part.
Yeah.
And then I totally forgot Joey's whole storyline. Oh, it was a Pacey.
Yeah.
But I like them together, so that's why I'm picking the other two.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Yeah.
yours?
Um, the high was just seeing Dawson back at home with his family with Lily, like you said. And then the low was just the last scene with Mitch. It just doesn't make sense with the ice cream. And then rating?
Six.
Yeah, me
Bad.
too. Yeah.
And
And
plus,
then
there's not much going on.
yeah.
It was like the same scenes I felt like just dragging.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you know when Dawson got there, it was like a whole 2 minutes of him just standing there, like
Yeah,
waiting to go up to
kind
his
of.
house? Like, you know how much
Mm-hmm.
time you wasted?
I think he was just like taking it in because he hasn't been there since June.
I
So
know, but I feel like that's what the show does. Have you noticed that? They'll use
hmm
5 scenes and drag them
yeah.
when they could cut them and add more scenes.
hmm
That actually would make the show a little faster.
Yeah.
Like the show is slow. Um, and then I'm gonna say it and you might disagree. My worst was Charlie.
No, I get that. Yeah.
As much as I love Chad, I didn't
hmm
like Charlie.
hmm
Um, and then my best was the one I really don't like. Dawson.
Yeah.
Okay, you wanna know why?
Mm.
He was my best because he stood up to his dad,
Yeah.
and I didn't think he had it in him.
hmm
Well, I mean, I know season 4 finale he did about the laptop, but usually he gives in to his parents.
hmm
And I was like, wow, he's standing his ground, even though I don't agree with what he's doing. But I did find it entertaining that he was standing up for what he wanted,
hmm
which is definitely not like Dawson.
Yeah.
So what's yours?
My worst was just Karen, the waitress, giving Pacey a hard time.
But she
I
wanted
don't
the
know.
job.
I know, but she could just told him, instead of acting like that. Because
Wait, you like Charlie over her? Charlie
no,
broke in and made Jen break in.
yeah, I know. I don't know. I just didn't like Karen. It just seems like she's not gonna stick around for much longer either. Which is
Like,
probably would have.
but literally when Charlie broke in, I wrote his name down.
Mm,
I was like, you were on the edge until you broke in. Then
hmm
I wrote your name down.
Yeah. And then I was thinking too, it's really interesting how we saw Dawson. This isn't the first time he's gonna drop everything in LA to be with a girl because he was gonna do the same thing with Gretchen last
Mhm.
season, but then he changed his mind the last second and then she kind of left anyhow, so he couldn't go with her. But
Well, and I
at least
couldn't figure it
now,
out because remember when Joey asked him to stay in the finale and he said, no, I have to go to
yeah,
LA?
yeah,
Where's that Dawson?
yeah. So it's just interesting to see what would have happened with his parents, at least that part. If he had gone to be with Gretchen, it probably would have been the same situation, with Mitch giving him a hard time about, dropping, no, not even going to school and everything. So,
Yeah, but I don't think he would have died over ice cream.
yeah. And then, Mitch, was the best just because he was a little hard on Dawson, but he was still trying to steer him in the right direction, trying his best, even though at some point, once you see that your kid's not gonna, do what you want them to do, you just have to let them go and just learn the hard way. So that could have been an option as well, you know?
Well, that's why he said, I'm disappointed in you, but I
hmm
love you.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what I mean, Dawson's Dawson. He's
hmm
he's gonna forget that I love you part. But Yeah, it's like, because he could have just been like, I'm disappointed in you and walked away.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't. He made sure to say, I love you.
Yeah.
And basically, I'll always be here for you.
Mm-hmm. Which is just some foreshadowing, it seems.
Yeah.
And then
I was like, sure you will.
yeah, so that was that. And then the next episode is episode 4, The Longest Goodbye, which I'm guessing has to do with the last scene with Mitch and the car accident. Because I'm guessing that it had it been a truck that was coming up, ahead of him. Because I feel like maybe if it was a different car, he would have only got injured, maybe the worst.
Well, what was Mitch driving?
I don't even know, just their family car. I don't know.
Hmm.
But yeah. Yep, so that was it for this one.
Well, hopefully in season 5 we get to see Gail at least.
Yeah,
Because I'm not liking these kid stories.
right, yeah. Would be nice to show something else for a little bit.
That's why I liked this where Dawson goes home because I didn't like him in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good that we got to see his parents.
Yeah.
And I was actually surprised that they showed Lily.
Oh, yeah, because they could have easily not, yeah.
Yeah, they could have just been like she's sleeping
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't have to pay for her
Yeah.
like other shows would have.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that it?
Yep.
All right. See you next time.
Yep. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Duo Chat Podcast and give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would really appreciate it.